Good morning, guys. Welcome to class. Hope you're all nice and fresh. Today, we are still with the main theme or topic of waves, but we are going to be looking today at the Doppler effect. Short class today, so let's get started. The learning objectives for today. By the end of the day, I want everybody to be able to define the Doppler effect, describe how frequency changes when a source moves. Remember, when we are using our ears, frequency and pitch are the same thing. With other words, how high or low the sound is. We want to interpret diagrams showing compressed and expanded wave fronts. And we want to apply the Doppler concept to a couple of real-world examples. It's quite a bit to get through in 10 minutes, so let's get stuck right in. I'm sure you've all heard an ambulance pass by before. I've got a sound clip here. Let's listen just to refresh our memories of a real-world example. Great. Guys, I'm sure you've all experienced that sound before. When an ambulance or a police car is moving towards you, the sound, the pitch seems a little higher. And when it's moving away from you, the pitch or sound seems a little bit lower. This is what these two pictures are trying to show us. When an ambulance is coming closer, we hear a higher pitch. When this observer, the guy who's listening, has the ambulance, which we're going to call the source, the thing that's making the noise, moves away, we experience or hear a lower pitch. So this is the Doppler effect. And let's go and explain or understand the science of the Doppler effect. Right. So the Doppler effect. These circles that you see here are the wave fronts. Remember, we've drawn them before. They're the crests or the troughs of the waves that are moving away from whatever's making the waves, the source. The source. In this case, it's sound waves, and in our picture here, the source is an ambulance. Here I've got an observer who's standing still and an ambulance who's standing still. And these waves will move obviously at the speed of sound because they're sound waves. But if you look at the way the circles are drawn, they seem to be equidistant on all sides, up, down, left, right. That is what happens when there is no movement. And the sound we hear basically stays the same because nothing is happening to change the sound of the ambulance. If I move over to this diagram, the ambulance has now started moving. The source, remember? It's moving towards the observer, and the observer hears a higher pitch. Why? If I look at these transverse waves, can you see that the wavelengths are shorter? So I'm squashing more waves into a short period, and therefore it appears or sounds to have a higher pitch. The frequency, how often those waves come, has become more. If I look at the diagram over here, here's my observer, the guy who's listening. But this time the ambulance is moving away from him. And if I look at this little transverse wave at the bottom here, I can see that the wavelengths have increased. So it's now fewer waves than I can put into a period. So the sound will be lower. Why does this happen? Can you see that the wave fronts here seem to be squashed up? Why is that? Why do they seem squashed up or compressed? Well, the reason for that is the ambulance is moving in the direction that the waves that it made are moving as well. It's almost like it's trying to catch up to its waves. So it seems that the waves are closer together. In this diagram over here, the ambulance is moving away. So what now? The ambulance or source has made waves, but now it seems as though it's trying to race away from those waves, making them seem, or making those wave fronts seem more stretched out. And this effect this where the frequency or pitch changes because a source is moving. This is our Doppler effect. Now, there's a couple of equations that we need to have a look at, and we're going to do calculations more next lesson, but it's important that we understand this calculation. So let's move on to our next slide. This is the calculation that we use to determine, to figure out the frequency. So the frequency that the guy who's listening, the observer, hears is this F with a little umlaut on top. How do we calculate that? Well, we need to take the frequency that the source is making. So the ambulance has a particular frequency. Woo, woo, woo. We need to find that. And we need to know what the speed of sound in air is. I know we all round off to about 330. That's perfect. Now look at this calculation. If this is the frequency that we are going to observe, how do we calculate it? We take the frequency of the source of this ambulance. What frequency is it making? We then multiply it, in brackets, by the speed of sound in air, divided by the speed of sound in air again. Can you see the V? And then plus or minus the speed or the velocity of the source. I'm sorry that I'm using the word speed. I know some of you are going to go, sir, it's velocity. I know. But just so that everybody gets it, it's got to do with the different velocities, the different speeds. All right. But velocity is the correct vector quantity. Thanks, guys. Now, this is how we calculate it. Why the plus and why the minus? Well, the minus we use when the object is moving towards us, and the plus we use when the object is moving away from us. So I'm not going to use plus minus at the same time. I've got to figure out or be told the object is moving away or the object is coming towards me. If I know that, I know whether to minus the velocity of the object, the police car, the ambulance, or add the velocity. Remember that the V without the subscript, that's the speed of sound in air. Okay, we're going to do more on this a little later, another lesson. Those of you who like a challenge, you can engage. I've got some nice questions in the worksheet that you would like to look at. But we need to understand the Doppler effect for today, so that's what we're looking at. Let's have a quick check. A police car moves towards, I'm an observer, observing. A police car is coming towards me. What will I observe? How will the frequency sound? Higher or lower? All right. And then using one of these type of diagrams, I need you guys just to quickly scribble on paper what the wave front will look like. Doesn't have to be pretty. Choose one of the answers, A, B, or C, and then quickly scribble on the piece of paper what the wave fronts will look like. This is just for us to see where we are. We're getting this. Wow, guys, that was fast. Okay, thanks for paying attention, man. That's great stuff. All right, there we go. The correct answer is A. The observer is listening to a police car in this case that is coming closer. You don't have to draw a police car, hey? You can just make a little dot for the source. We just put the police car in there because it looks prettier, eh? Right. So where can I use it? We look at light shift. Remember, light is a wave as well. And the frequency or the pitch or frequency of light, we observe in its color. So when light is red or blue, it tells us something. In the universe, scientists look at red and blue shifts. So red colors that they observe tells us that galaxies are moving towards us, moving away from us, longer wavelength. And blue is when it seems galaxies are moving towards us. And because there's this noticeable red shift in the universe, we like to believe the universe is expanding. We also use it in ultrasound to determine how fast blood is moving towards or away from a particular point. And they use it in weather. The reflected waves off weather fronts can help scientists determine and track what is going to happen with weather. Is that weather front moving towards us? Is it moving away from us? So there are many places in which we can apply the Doppler effect. Guys, We will talk more about this. I just wanted to show you that there are some real-world examples. Okay, so we're basically at the end of our 10 minutes. Can you guys believe that? A train moves away from you while blowing its horn. Explain why this happens, to the frequency and why. This is a quick one. Thanks, Mohammed. That's correct. The frequency has become lower because the train is moving away from us, and the wavefronts or frequency has become smaller. Okay, guys, you all know how we work. It's the end of the lesson. There's a Google form that you guys fill in either at home or now, one break. It's just these questions. I want to know, can you define the Doppler effect? Describe our frequency changes, interpret diagrams, those ones of the circular wavefronts, and apply the concept to real-world examples. Remember, guys, I look at those forms to see where most of you are. So it's how you understand it. All right. Not to impress me, it's to tell me, hey, sir, could you explain this again, please? All right. And there's a short worksheet. You will find that given to you in your notes. Guys, I know there's a huge function. I know you got to go. Thanks for giving me the 10 minutes. And I will see you guys next lesson.